Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today's video update here for Bitcoin. We are trading at $18,522. 24-hour volume, we are up 25%, and market cap, we are down 1.89%. All right, so let's start off with our week. We're going to go into our daily and then short time frame for 1 hour, but let's kind of evaluate the week so far. So what we can see here, we already broke the past support number or possibly the support number of $17,795. Now, if we take a look closer at our weekly, our lowest that we've had was 18,100. So we've been able to come up just slightly of $400. We've got this small little wick here itself, but the body itself is remaining in the middle. So there is still some stride, there is still some hope. However, we can take a look at the RSI here at 55%, and the characteristics so far, again, because we're on a weekly time frame, we're going to see smaller results here, is ultimately these may pinch in, and whenever we see these pinch in and the white line is found on the left hand side of the pink line here, it is going to have a sell sign or sell signal for us in a shorter time frame. Now, if we take a look at our action here again, that I have been telling you guys here, we have possibly a head and shoulders, our left shoulder, our head, and then our right shoulder formation. Hitting resistance couldn't create a higher high compared to the previous shoulder and compared to the head itself. So our drop may be from either this line here at our support or possibly here because this candlestick retraced lower here. So if we do see a confirmation of the 5% roughly around the 17,600, then price for Bitcoin for long term is going to continue to drop. Now there is a price confirmation here even still at the 16,800, but essentially once we break the confirmation of the 5%, then price is going to continue to drop. And if we take a look at our MACD indicator that measures momentum, we can see the two lines are coming in closer together. The less space in between these two lines, the lower the momentum has lost, and we may flip from the green to a red. And again, an area of interest is near the area of support. We are most likely going to break that support. Now, going into our daily chart here, you guys, we can see price again has retraced. We can see the body is remaining closer to the bottom. So in this session so far for today, we can see that the bulls try to push the price as high as it can and eventually push the session so far today at the very bottom. Now we can see that it's more than 50% of the previous candle, meaning the pressure for the sellers is on. Now let's take a look at this candle here 2 days ago. Now this candlestick itself could essentially be a hammer candlestick observed at the very bottom. But because yesterday we did not close even further, we did not close above the previous hammer candlestick, it was not a confirmation that gives us more so for this hammer candlestick. So even though we were excited about this hammer candlestick, a confirmation was a close before the body of the hammer candlestick to give us a progression that we are going to, in hopes, to reverse. Now, if we take a look at our RSI at the very top here to see if there is any signals. Again, our RSI at the white line is at 8%, and then the other line is at 19%. Make sure, again, remember that the RSI can easily drop down here at 2% or 0% here until we have confirmation that we are considered to be oversold and an opportunity to buy at a shorter term is presentable. Now, another thing too that we are going to take a look at, which I love using, is our MACD indicator. As the MACD indicator shows strength in the bears, as these bars are getting aggressively bigger, we may see an ultimate drop from this area of support at 18.5 and then retrace closer down to our next number at 17.355. Now heading over to a 1 hour chart here, you guys, same thing that we saw on a daily chart is our hammer candlestick. Now take a look at the hammer candlestick presented ourselves. The body itself is quite small. The wick at the very bottom is twice the size of the body, and it's either no wick at the top or just a little wick. Now, essentially, to confirm that we are going to continue to come up or attempt to come up and retrace closer to our 60% of our fib line is essentially the close needs to be well above the body here. So if we can see that the body, the closing was at 18,400. So essentially the closing of this body here was at 18,400. If the candlestick itself in this hour closes above that, it may give us momentum for the price to come up at the 61%, ultimately at the 18,667. Now, if the body itself is resembling something like this, which is very small, or a doji candle, it is very, very hard to determine if price is going to retrace the 61% because it's a neutral candlestick, as the doji candle essentially says that really no one rallied, no one was dominant in the session of the 1 hour. The bulls and the bears are basically even, they're neutral. Price can either flop on the downside or can flop on the upside. We can see initially, we see a crossover from the previous candlestick to now, but we do need to wait for confirmation again to see if we do close above the body and essentially have more spaces in between these lines to make sure they don't cross and initiate a sell opportunity opposed to a buying opportunity. And lastly, here is our MACD indicator. We can see it's getting aggressively in the red. And again, if it does get aggressively in the red, we will see a consolidation, which means price will move from resistance to support in a side price action. And if we take a look at our volume profile off to the side, we can see we are in this area of supply and demand. Essentially, we do want to come up to this cluster, but it is really, really far away. We do need the momentum in volume, momentum in our MACD, and we need a signal here for our RSI in order to come back up here for the supply and demand. So that's my video here for Bitcoin. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.